We're here to instantly react to the generational fight where Terence Spud Crawford was dominant, CT with DJ. Man, how are you feeling after that one?
Man, it was hectic. So obviously, I was watching this on my mobile phone while I had the UFC up on the TV, and it was just everything was action packed. Today was a day for combat sports, and what a day it was, man. This look going into the fight. You're right. It was a generational fight. The best fighting the best. A unification bout. Much has been spoken about it. This was a fight, I think, 4 or 5 years in the making, and they finally,
Mm.
gave us the fight. Very different to what I thought how the fight will go. I was expecting a much more closer contested fight. But man, what can you say? Terence Crawford is the man, right? He's a unified champion in two different weight classes. Showed us that there's levels to this game. Look, Spence is an extremely good boxer. He's a really, really, really good boxer. So, look, I know there's a lot of speculations going on. Let's wait till more information comes out in terms of the
Yeah,
weight cut and all these kinds of. But at the end of the day, two men agreed on a particular weight category, weighed in, came in, you know, agreed and said that they're in the best shape of their lives, came in and they, threw down, and the best man or the better man won, right? The first round, uh, Spence got it, but that's probably the only one. And after that, it was just a Terence Crawford story.
yep, I fully agree. I guess the best thing about a fight that's so definitive as a fan is that there's no debating anymore. It's just one gentleman, Terence Bud Crawford, uh, put his name in history, and in
Absolutely.
history will forever talk about this performance. Is he your pound for pound now?
100%, man. Look, I could be recency biased,
Yeah,
because this fight just happened. But I'm also looking at there's two fighters at the moment in the top of the mountain who they keep arguing who's the best current number one pound for pound, right? Like one is in a way, and then the other one is Terence Crawford. I feel like the win right now, the opposition that he faced today, and the stakes and the way in which he did it, it was just not just a finish. It was not just a decision. It was a finish, but after a dominant nine
mm,
rounds, right? 8 rounds,
yeah,
if you want. Yeah, you have to give that first round to So 8 rounds of domination, and then he finishes him, knocks him down. Errol Spence has never been knocked down. Knocked him down twice,
yeah.
right? In rounds 2, 7, and 9, and then you secures the win. I feel like he cements himself in there. That's right. You're right, man. Like this is legacy making. This is what these fights are. What you call legacy making fight, history making fight. Forever in the history books. The two
Yeah.
giants that went against each other, and Terence Crawford came
What
out victorious.
what makes him so good? Like how did he do it? How did
And
he make another Supreme fighter look so
I
average
just
tonight?
look again. We can't without knowing sort of what the situation was in the Spence camp. We can't really talk too much about
Mm,
sort of his shortcomings in terms of before he got in the ring. What we can do is assume that the two healthy gentlemen who went in there and at a fight. Um, I felt look, this is the thing for me. One of the things that stood out was the difference in power. The
yeah.
Errol Spence was still busy in certain rounds, and he was still landing, but it was make there was minimal impact, if you may. Whereas when Terence Crawford was landing, the impact was significant. You had him. Obviously,
Phew,
there's three knockouts. That
damage.
speaks for
Yeah.
itself. Damage. You should see. I think after the seventh or eighth round, they showed his face, and it was all mangled
Ooh.
up. So, you know, man. So it shows speaks to the power. So I think there was a clear difference in power. Um, and also, I think they both, in terms of technicality and skill set, I wouldn't really. Uh, Obviously, Terence Crawford won the fight, so he's the better
Yeah.
fighter. But I think they're both extremely skilled and talented in terms of technical. They're very technical boxers, right? You could see that in terms of fighting behind the jab, volume punches, combinations, all these kind of things. But yeah, look, I thought the power was a big difference, and also I think that the further the fight progressed, the less confident Spence looked.
Yeah. And he was the favorite coming in. It wasn't like by a huge amount, but yeah, he
Yeah,
was the kind of consensus. Like if one person's gonna take this victory.
yeah,
But yeah, the way he did it, the emphaticness was to surprise of most people. That's the general reaction I found, man. How surprised, how one-sided this thing
Yeah,
was, and
yeah.
he's intending to fully activate the rematch clause now. To that? What do you react to?
Absolutely, mate. He's a champion, right? Like if he believes that something was not right, and if he believes that he can give a better account of himself, by all means, like again, he is someone who's earned that spot as well in terms of being a champion, and
Mm,
his resume speaks for itself as well. So yeah, look, absolutely, it'll be interesting to get the interest going, unless we know more about sort of why he feels he could do better in a rematch. Um,
yeah,
because I
yeah,
like to say it was one side, it was dominant, right? But yeah, you're right. I was as surprised as everyone else as to I was expecting more of a Lomachenko Haney style of fight, and then to see how one sided it was, I was
yeah.
quite surprised. But it was also it gives a definitive end to it, right? Like I mean, the
True.
past few fights we've been talking about how maybe the wrong person won, and there's controversy
Yeah,
in terms of the decisions that have been made. So I think, yeah, look, this kind of eliminates that doubt. No one's arguing or debating about, who won, right? And obviously now the debate is about how compromised was Errol Spence getting into that ring, or before that ring. But there's always going to be a point of debate. You know what I mean? So
definitely. Yeah, at least there's no controversy in terms of, robberies or decisions. It was clear. It was a stoppage, emphatic. Congrats to Terence Bud Crawford now, and I'm open to seeing a rematch purely for the fact I know how one-sided this was, but as long as they take a little bit of a break, you know,
yep,
maybe another 9, 10, 12 months from now, do it again. Let's
yeah,
see. But just because of how good Spence is, if it
he
was
is.
Crawford beating some other bum, I wouldn't want to see a rematch, but you got to give the respect to the resume
Yep,
that Spence has. But yeah, boy, was it so one sided, man.
it was one-sided. Hey, here's one way they can sort of generate some interest. What I would suggest is maybe Spence takes another fight before he goes back to fight Crawford,
Yep.
uh,
Yeah.
exerts his domination. That kind of makes the general public and himself and everyone else to sit back and go, okay, well, this is not the Spence we saw uh, last time he fought Crawford, so maybe there is something to it. All right, let's see the rematch. If I'm just saying that, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. Would I expect it to go any different based on what I've seen? Probably the same thing as the Cambosis Haney rematch. You know, wasn't.
Yeah, well, it might be closer than a little bit more closer than that, because of their skill set, but still, yeah, I agree with you that I don't think that the outcome's going to be different though. Well, even if it goes to a decision, I
Yeah.
feel like Crawford will get like a pretty easy decision win here.
Yeah, but we love to hear your thoughts. So let us know in the comments. If you're a big Spence fan, let us know what you saw today and how he could bounce back and give a better performance in a rematch. If you're a Terence Bud Crawford fan, you can gloat. You can let us know. You think he's pound for pound. But CT and DJ for the instant reaction. Catch us next week on the full rundown. Peace.